ViacomCBS shares rose meaningfully Thursday after the company reported better than expected second quarter financial results. Welcome to Variety's second quarter media earnings coverage. I'm Heidi Chung, media analyst and correspondent for Variety Intelligence Platform. ViacomCBS posting adjusted earnings of 97 cents per share on revenue of $6.56 billion during the second quarter. The media giant added 6.5 million global streaming subscribers across its service, which brought the total subscriber base to over 42 million. I'm joined by VIP Chief Media Analyst Andrew Wallenstein to discuss ViacomCBS's second quarter results. Andy, let's start with the second quarter because across most of its major metrics, it was a pretty solid quarter overall. I want to get your biggest takeaway from the Q2.
Well, yeah, certainly this was a quarter that ViacomCBS could be proud of. The thing that jumped out at me most was I was looking for some direction in terms of film windows. And I think we got some of that. Bob Bakish clearly indicating that the 45-day window that they used on A Quiet Place 2 was something they're going to stick with. But also they're going to have, I think, as he indicated, a different window depending on different movies. So for instance, we've got Paw Patrol coming out soon. That's going to be day and date like we have seen on HBO Max all year. I guess there was a part of me that was wondering whether we were going to see something like a premiere access window announcement like Disney does with some sort of surcharge for a title. We did not see that, but I think ViacomCBS likes the cards it's playing on this front.
And of course, another big topic headed into today's results was surrounding M&A. The first analyst to ask a question during the Q&A certainly asked about this to get more color on whether or not ViacomCBS and Comcast are in more meaningful talks. Do you believe Bakish? Do you believe Brian Roberts when they say M&A is not really on the table right now?
You know, the thing is, we're all led to believe the conventional wisdom is that these companies need to be consolidating, pairing up, scaling up to battle the biggest players in the space. So when you see Brian Roberts last week, when you see Bob Bakish today, basically saying, well, we're just going to rely on organic growth, I can't believe them. I have to believe that there is a reason that they're not being more aggressive. And, to me, the likeliest scenario is there's something going on now in the regulatory environment that is spooking them. I think they want to wait and see what's going on in terms of Warner Media and Discovery. Is that going to get cleared? Now, David Zaslav just a few days ago told us it looks like all green lights ahead, but perhaps these CEOs are being a little more circumspect because the last thing they need is if President Biden does appoint antitrust experts that are pretty hawkish in their opposition to any consolidation, they do not want a target on their backs.
And Andy, a reason for maybe ViacomCBS being able to take that wait and see approach is because they have a pretty healthy balance sheet right now, about $5.4 billion of cash on hand. The company also signaling that it plans to invest in streaming, and a lot of the capital that they currently have would be best suited for streaming investments. Let's talk a little bit about the $900 million deal with South Park creators. How big of a deal is this, in your opinion?
Well, anytime you see a company like ViacomCBS be able to take one of their marquee pieces of intellectual property and squeeze an ungodly amount of movies out of it in the future, not to mention more seasons on Comedy Central, that is a win-win. I mean, look, South Park is not what it once was, but it's still about as robust a property as ViacomCBS could hope to bring into the long term. It is the kind of show that, like The Simpsons, you could see just playing on and on and on. I don't think anyone was expecting a whole bunch of movies, but I think this has to be a win. I think it absolutely is, because this is a known property. It's not as if they're going to be sort of taking a gamble on something that isn't pretty well known. So I think Wall Street's got to cheer a move like this.
Do you think, though, that 14 exclusive movies, 2 per year, is just going to dilute the brand and dilute South Park in general? Or do you actually think that people out there, fans, want this much content exclusively?
I think you're raising a great point. I think you could argue that part of the appeal of South Park over the years was its scarcity, that it wasn't being sort of pushed overly aggressively on an audience for too long. And I think you raise a great point here. Is it possible that they're going to sort of age South Park quicker than it needs to by doing too much of it? We'll have to wait and see.
All right, Andrew Wallenstein, VIP's chief media analyst, thank you so much for your insights. And for more in-depth analysis, head over to variety.com/VIP.